It's the Scotty Myers Show.
Hey, how's it going this week? Hopefully, you're having a fantastic week so far. Welcome to the Scotty Myers Show. First off, let's say a big happy 4th of July to all our listeners down in the United States. Of course, in between the last show and this show, we had Canada Day here in Canada, so that was our big celebration. And as I record this, we're on the 4th of July Eve. So make sure you have fun down there. Be safe. A lot of people lose digits on the 4th of July. Everybody likes to put the fireworks in their backyard, but nobody really, figures how to use them properly. You don't hold them. That's step one. You tend to stick them in the ground or something like that, but don't hold them in your hand, and try to be as smart about it as you can be, because I was sitting today for a little while reading some news stories, and I saw that basically the 4th of July is the number one drinking holiday in the U.S. Approximately $1 billion spent on beer, and then another almost $600 million on wine. And you can't count all those numbers if you don't have all your digits there. So again, careful with the fireworks. All right, have fun. Come back with a full hand. So one thing that I'm jealous of, I'll freely admit it, is dudes that can grow massive beards. It's impressive. It takes a massive level of dedication, one that I don't have. I start to itch and I have to shave it. It's gone. And I also don't know how they manage to maintain that growth without it bugging their lady friends. My wife, when I get to a certain level of growth, she's like, that's not comfortable. Stop. Shave. And I keep like what I like to call like a 1940s alcoholic detective look. Kind of just enough scruff to make it look like I didn't get a good night's sleep, but not enough that I'm full on beard. But there are some dudes out there, massive beards. More power to you. However, here's the thing. Apparently, your beard, dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Dirtier than a dog, if you can believe that. They did some testing, I guess, on a bunch of men's facial hair, 18 men, and then 30 dogs across a bunch of different breeds, and basically compare the microbes that they found between the two. And 7 of the men, so almost half of them, tested positive for microbes that actually posed a threat to human health. So on the basis of these findings, dogs can be considered as clean compared to bearded men. All the men in the study kind of ranged in age as well, 18 to 76. All of them had high counts of bacteria in their beards. Only 23 of the 30 dogs had high levels. So great news if you love to snuggle up with your pooch at night. Not so good news if you're a lady and you're snuggling up with a guy with a giant beard at night. Because not only can you now snack on the crumbs of what he had for dinner when you have a midnight craving, you can also now get very, very sick from the beard. So fellas, maybe in the interest of all things holy, shave the beards down a little bit. When you look at the news now, it's really negative. And it's been like that for a long time. And I'd love to see it change, see some positive news come out there. And so it was with that in mind, I was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to call some people and brighten their day. Just like make a few phone calls and try to put a little bit of sunshine in some random people's day. And I just thought I'd share it with you. It might be something you might want to do. Just be a little bit more friendly.
Hello, Bangor Motel 6. This is Shan. How may I help you?
Hi there. I just wanted to say you have lovely hair.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, needs Mary meeting.
I just wanted to say you have the absolute best jerky.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's tender and tough and salty and sweet all at the same time.
Okay, perfect. Hello?
I just wanted to say you have beautiful eyes.
What?
You have beautiful eyes.
What are you talking about?
You just have very beautiful eyes.
You go yourself.
Apparently, not everybody can take a compliment. Didn't go as well as I hope. On to the off story of the week. Of course, offs stands for oh for fuck's sakes. And that's what you see when you read this headline. And this one definitely made me scream offs. It also made me really, really sad for guys. Because here's the thing. We really are just absolutely pathetic creatures. I mean, we see a woman that we find attractive. We will do damn near anything they ask us to do. And this is not a secret. I'm not letting a cat out of the bag or anything like that. Women just, they know how to control us. And so there's this Instagram girl. She's a cosplayer on Instagram. Her name is Belle Delphini, or I think I'm pronouncing that. She's from Britain. She's a self-proclaimed weird elf kitty girl, heavily influenced by Japanese anime as well as nerd and game culture. And looking through her Instagram, cute, whatever. She has products that she sells on her Instagram, like t-shirts and whatnot. No big deal there. I mean, when you're an Instagrammer and you've got, a crap ton of followers, then yeah, you can definitely make some money on these people. She's got over 3.8 million followers. So some of them are definitely going to spend money on stuff that she sells them. Here's what the 19-year-old came up with. And in a sad way, this is ingenious. She's selling her bath water to the people out there. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, who the fuck is buying bath water? It's sold out. Now, secondly, I'm sitting there going, how did it sell out? Just have another bath. I mean, you can never be too clean. But it comes with a small jar, has a lid with an Xbox controller on it, and says, "Love from Belle Delphini." And the product description says, "Bottled while I'm playing in the bath." You know what she's hinting at there. This really is bath water. The water is not for drinking and should only be used for sentimental purposes. Here's the thing. Guys are definitely drinking this. All right. 100% guys are drinking this. Because they think she masturbated in the bathtub and that's what's in this water. So 100% guys are drinking this. They're pouring it on the vagina of their plastic blow-up doll. They're pouring it wherever. Water makes shitty lube. Okay, I don't know if you ever tried to fuck in the shower, jerk off in the shower. Water just makes terrible, terrible, terrible lube. So if you're one of these poor saps that has bought this woman's bathwater for $30 too, and you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to use this to get off with, it's not going to work. And it's only going to make your fleshlight flooded. So definitely, the fact that dudes are paying $30 for some chick's bath water, offs. But I will say this, good on her for figuring out a way to make some extra money. There was a point in time, my wife had come to me and said, what happens if I decided to sell my used underwear online? And I was all for it. I was seriously like, you want to sell your used undies to guys online and make some extra money, maybe pay off some bills around this place? Go to it. And then we started doing the math on it, and she said there's a lot of overhead because apparently guys don't like just like, shitty 12-pack Costco underwear. It's got to be a little nicer than that. Because if you're sitting around and your way of getting off is with a pair of woman's panties on your head, it'd be embarrassing if they were cheap, if somebody walked in. You got the underwear on your head, dick in your hand, somebody walks in on you. If those aren't lace Victoria's Secret ones, it's an embarrassing situation that you don't want to be in. But I'm all for it. Make the money however you can. As long as there's saps out there, milk them dry. And don't worry, they're milking themselves dry with your bathwater. So having said that, and I could use some extra money, we got some expenses with this podcast venture, especially me trying to travel to various cons and whatnot. That's all on the agenda coming up. I am going to start selling, I don't think anybody wants my bath water. I will start selling my toilet water. It comes in a few different variations. There's a yellow. That is Plemonade. You can figure out what the P stands for. There's also a brown one that you can get in a couple of different variations. Chunky, unchunky, and with peanuts and without peanuts. So like a smooth and a chunky. So it's kind of like peanut butter when you think about it. Chunky, unchunky, just brown. You can think of that as chocolate peanut butter. That'll be up on the website soon. I think 30 is a little steep, maybe only $15. Maybe 2 for $20, something along those lines. But gotta fund this bad boy somehow. Anyway, on to the geek news of the week. If anybody does want that toilet water, serious inquiries only, just hit me up. There's been some really cool geek news this week, and I want to get right into it. One of the greatest comic series of all time has finally found a live-action adaptation home, and I could not be more excited about this. Neil Gaiman and David S. Goyer, the guy behind The Dark Knight and the Krypton TV show, they are teaming up to bring Sandman to Netflix, which is awesome. Awesome. Now, Lucifer, the TV show that was based on a character in the Neil Gaiman Sandman universe, did very, very well for Netflix. Some people are wondering if it will be connected in any way. We don't know that yet, but what we do know from Neil Gaiman himself is that the first season of Sandman is going to consist of 11 episodes. It will kind of touch on Preludes and Nocturnes and then a little bit more. And if you're familiar with the books, Preludes and Nocturnes, one of the first of the books. Really looking forward to this. Neil Gaiman's adaptations have been doing very, very well lately. American Gods, brilliantly adapted. If you've never read the book, do yourself a favor and read it. And of course, Good Omens, adapted for Amazon. I haven't had a chance to check that one out yet, but I've been reading the reviews. They're saying it's a very faithful adaptation to another amazing Neil Gaiman book. Neil Gaiman, hands down, one of the best writers out there today. So really looking forward to his involvement with this Netflix show. And this announcement kind of came out of nowhere because for years, there was a movie supposedly in the works for Sandman. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the guy that had the rights. And there was talks he was going to direct it, write it, star in it. He had different roles kind of throughout its development process. But now we know we're getting a live-action Netflix series, Sandman. That alone is going to be worth the price of the Netflix subscription. Even if you get it now, just to make sure you have it when Sandman comes, it's going to be worth it. And speaking of television adaptations, this one more of a prequel, Gremlins has been ordered for the Warner Brothers streaming service. Not live action. They're going to be animating it. And it's called Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai. And it's going to give us a little bit of the backstory that we don't get from the Gremlins movie. You know, we just know that he's in that kind of bizarre store at the beginning, Gizmo, and the rules. But we don't know where the Mogwai come from or all that kind of stuff. I'm assuming that's what this show is going to try to kind of fill in those holes in the backstory of Gremlins. But I'm glad it's going this route. For years, when we talk about movies that have been rebooted and redone by Hollywood, I've always in the back of my head had this little tiny fear of the announcement of a Gremlins reboot. And the only reason I have a fear of that is Gremlins was such a unique flick in that it was horror, comedy, family. I argue it's a Christmas movie as well. But I tried to get my 7-year-old nephew to watch it last Christmas, and it was too much for him. Which, if they rebooted the damn thing, you know, they just would have played up on how cute Gizmo is. They would have taken all the horror elements out of it, and they would have really watered it down. So I'm glad it's going this route. Maybe they can keep that edge in there. Really looking forward to this. I've always wanted more Gremlins in my life, so this is fantastic news. And also, you know, if they rebooted it, they never would have done the lady in the electric chair out the window bit. That would have been tossed out. And that is cinematic masterpiece right there. That's one of the best scenes in the history of films. Try and prove me wrong. Continuing on with the geek news, we finally have some news on the Flash movie. This thing looked like it was dead in the water, but now, not only does it have a new director, it also has a new writer. The new director, Andy Muschietti, is the guy that directed the Stephen King It film that did incredibly well and was very well directed. And Christina Hodson is being eyed to rewrite the film. Now, she has done a lot of work lately on some big movies. She did Bumblebee as well as the upcoming Birds of Prey film. So people are obviously impressed with her work. So she's being brought in to tidy up the script for The Flash. And if you're wondering who will be Barry Allen, even though supposedly his contract ran out at the end of May, all reports are saying that Ezra Miller is still on board to play the Scarlet Speedster, which I'm fine with. I dug him in the Justice League movie. I thought he did a great Barry Allen. Would love to see him with his own film. Glad to see the ball is finally rolling on this. It's time to get The Flash on the big screen. Speaking of things on the big screen right now, Spider-Man opened and is already setting some records. Hard to believe there were any records left for it to set after Avengers Endgame. But it's broken records for Tuesday openings. Not only has Far From Home claimed the crown for Tuesday movie openings, it's dethroned another Spider-Man movie in the process. Apparently, Far From Home pulled in around $39.3 million in North America on its opening day, which beat the former record of $35 million for a Tuesday opening, which was set by The Amazing Spider-Man back in 2012. If you're wondering how it made that money, about a third of it came from IMAX or premium large format theaters. But it is off to a fantastic start. Comparatively, Homecoming only earned about $15.4 million in its Thursday previews. For Far From Home, really on pace to blow away Spider-Man Homecoming. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but if you do go check it out, apparently the key to this movie, outside of the main film, is the post-credit scene. It looks like it could be setting up the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if you're familiar with the comic books, it's going to be a storyline that you may have read in the past. That's all I'm going to say. I got that from a buddy of mine that saw it already. And sticking with Marvel, of course, we found out they are returning to San Diego Comic-Con this year, and there could be a very cool reunion as part of one of their panels. According to Deadline, now this is all rumor, but there's some buzz that an Avengers reunion may happen at San Diego Comic-Con. It could happen at either Russo's panel or at the Marvel panel on Saturday night, and it looks like it would be a final kind of curtain call for the original Marvel Avengers. So it looks like Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Falcon, all those characters, Hulk, everybody would be coming together one last time in Hall H to kind of bow out. And that would be a nice send-off, I think, at San Diego Comic-Con. They're either coming out for one final bow, or if Avengers Endgame hasn't passed Avatar for the all-time box office record by that point, they're probably going to come out to tell you to go see the movie one more time so it can break that record. But as we get closer to San Diego, we will know more about a possible Avengers reunion. That will do it for this week. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're all over the place, at Scotty Mars on Twitter, The Scotty Mars Show on Facebook and Instagram. You can reach out to me there anytime. Any questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, anything you want me to do on the podcast, leave them there. I'll get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening to us, be it iTunes, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, just to name a few. And also give us one of those likes, reviews, ratings, the little 5-star rating. That helps promote the show a whole lot. And if you want to listen to it streaming, blasttheradio.com, Thursday mornings at 8:30 Eastern Time. We can be your little morning show there. So until we speak again, have a great week.